What's going on, guys? It's Greg here. Got some breaking news for you related to the situation in Iran, which is very fast developing. In case you're not aware, yesterday the United States military ordered a drone strike against the top Iranian general, Qassam Soleimani, and he was killed in an airport in Baghdad, outside of Baghdad International Airport in Iraq. The drone strike was successful and it killed him. And obviously, Iran is now warning of a severe retaliation. But I'm just getting word from a source of mine in Manhattan that basically the New York City mayor has just held a press conference with other New York City top officials, and they have talked about the possibility of increased terrorism and the possibility of World War III. And basically, the whole press conference was about what kind of preparations they've made for World War III and increases in terrorism. Um, and what my source told me is basically that since the news broke yesterday of this attack on the top Iranian general, that New York City has already put plans in place to prepare for World War III and terrorism, or any other kind of retaliatory actions that Iran may take against New York City. We have to remember that New York City is one of the most important financial hubs in the world. It's the center of the U.S. stock market. A lot of global companies have their headquarters in New York City. A lot of banks, international banks, hold their gold reserves in New York City. Um, all the world's largest banks hold their gold reserves in New York City. So New York City is a critically important city for the United States and the world. So any kind of attack or long-term disruption on New York City would have a huge impact on the U.S. or even on the world. Um, but I can tell you, being a lifelong New Yorker, I don't live that far from New York City, and I grew up on Long Island during the 9/11 attacks. I was living on Long Island, and I can tell you that New York City doesn't do press conferences like this unless it's something that they're really concerned about. And obviously, New York City is a very liberal city, and if they're worried about terrorism and World War III, then you should definitely be worried about it if you're a prepper. Um, I just wanted to bring this breaking news to you guys because I think it's important, and I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. That basically there was a press conference just now in New York City by the mayor of New York City and top New York City officials, and they were basically talking about the preparations that they've made to prepare for World War III or increases in terrorism. And they mentioned that they've stepped up security and stepped up different kinds of action plans that they have in place to handle any kind of bad situation, whether it's a nuclear attack, World War III, whatever the situation is. They said that they're ready for it. So um, I just wanted to bring this information to you guys. And, I'm going to keep updating you guys with more information on this situation. As things develop, I'm going to stay on top of it and alert you guys. If you live in a city or, right now, I would strongly advise you to set up a survival kit if you don't have one already, especially if you live in New York City or any major U.S. city. You should set up a get home bag, which will allow you to evacuate the city safely, and, escape on foot. Because if there's any kind of major attack or, uh, you know, some kind of a situation, it's going to be hard for you to drive or use trains to get out of the city. So you're going to have to rely on your feet to get out. And you need to make sure that you have, critical supplies with you like water, food, basic clothing so you can, survive colder weather. Like right now, it's January, so if you had to escape on foot, you want to make sure you have a nice warm jacket and a lot of other things. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to stay on top of this and remember the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.